You know, in business, Chuck, they talk about founders. The founder of the Arkansas baseball program, I think in some respect you have to say is Norm DeBriyn. 33 seasons coaching the program, 4 College World Series appearances, 7-time Conference Coach of the Year, and Coach D's joining us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Coach, good morning. We're glad you're here. Thanks for making time for us.
Good morning. Good to be on your show, and looking forward to it. Exciting time.
Do you sometimes go to Baum Walker Stadium, who, by the way, you've still been involved with helping fundraise and help these facilities and all that? Do you sometimes go there and say, man, do you remember when we had to practice on the fairgrounds and we got kicked off by the band?
Yeah. Great memories, I guess, you know. Oh, man.
Remember, like we did a story with Coach one time, Chuck, and he said he was he came here for a driver's ed job, and he finally got the baseball opportunity, but they told him he couldn't overlook his duties teaching driver's ed.
Well,
and he said, of course I wouldn't, and he did. And the first time he wasn't there was one car in the whole parking lot. They were practicing, and they hit it. Come a long way, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. I thought I was going to get fired because they weren't going to fire the football player that driving the car, but they could get rid of me.
I forgot about that part.
He was a pretty good one. So, anyway.
Hey, Norm, when did you know Dave was going to be a coach? I mean, were you able to tell when he was playing back then that, hey, this guy's something special?
Yeah, that's a great comment, Chuck. He came in after he got released in pro ball and came to me, and I said, well, you got to get your degree. You can be a GA, and all of that worked out. And I think in the spring, we went to a tournament, and it was a junior college tournament, and we got done, and, you know, we were just talking, and he immediately identified the best player in that tournament, and he just had a knack for it. You could just tell. I mean, the way he picked up things, the way he did, like on our 85 team, he said, you know, let's make Roby our second baseman because he was a shortstop and so was Richardson. And he made that conversion, and it really paid off. And so Dave just had his approach is so good and just had a knack. He's got a real feel for the game. And you can kind of tell with the moves he makes. You know, he's done so many good things, you know, and so, yeah, I when he was a GA, I thought, hey, this guy, he's going to go down the road and be good, and he sure has.
Coach, when you watch him now and you look at the players he brings in, what is the common theme? And by the way, I think it continues to evolve and get better as he's been here. They've always been a tough program. You know, all the 9 College World Series appearances. It seems like at least every 3 years they're back in Omaha. So it's not like this thing just started. But when I look at this team now, I mean, the quality of player all the way through the roster, on the mound, in the lineup, I mean, it's remarkable.
Yeah, it really is. You know, the culture he has established in what he has built from day one to the present day makes the program run itself. And I think that's because of his approach, his demeanor, his staff, and how they follow his lead. I was fortunate to sit in with him on the selection show. And when that was over with and Arkansas was announced the regional host and who was coming here to this Fayetteville regional, you know, he just made a comment to the kids, to the players at the end. He says, you're off today. Go ahead and do whatever you want. You know, and then a couple nights later, Brandon Long had at his house all the players over there. A lot of them were there for dinner and you know, just kind of hanging out. And they just talked about, you know, how fun the practices were and how they were going to have a light week, but pay attention to the duty, get your weights in, get your reps in, you know, that type of thing. I think that says a lot.
Do you guys talk ball? I mean, is there still a coach-player relationship to a degree between the two of you, or is it a peer thing now?
Not much, Chuck. I was surprised. Dave called me last December, and I hadn't been duck hunting in 5 years, and he said, why don't you go with me? We got a donor flying us to Stuttgart or whatever, and I did, and I found out more. We talked more baseball on that 2 or 3 days than we have in the last 3 years. So that was fun. I just kind of got caught up, I guess. I try not to be around, but I enjoy them.
I think about the players from your era, and I look at the players now. The weight training, the strength training, the nutrition, just the strength of the players, offensively, defensively, pitching, everything. It seems like that perhaps more than anything has changed the game.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, with the velocity the pitchers are showing, and in that locker room, in the clubhouse, oh my God, the bodies. These kids are strong and built.
They're jacked. I mean, they are.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Coach DeBriyn with us, Norm DeBriyn. I got to ask you just about the team and this matchup this weekend, and what you think. That Arkansas is the favorite to win it all, which doesn't mean anything in terms of getting it done for you, but it does say something about the team you've put together. What do you see with this team?
Well, I don't feel like. I think Arkansas is a little better ball club than Tennessee, and it's going to be a fight. I mean, it's going to be but I don't think Arkansas will give in an inch, and I don't think they'll succumb to any pressure. I think they'll go out one pitch at a time and take care of business like they usually do. They've been in this situation before, and I look forward to it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I like Arkansas' chances. This could be the year. Really could.
They seem like they get this business-like approach, but they're still having fun. It's not like it's taking the joy out of it. How would you describe their approach?
Yeah, that's great. That's a good comment. Their approach is even keel, like their coach. And, they're having fun. They're playing good right now. They're hot. Koshal is hot. I mean, the other players, like Helfrich, the way he has come on, I just like the way the team is trending. I mean, now Wood the other day, I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, we struck out 20 in the last game and then hit 5 home runs. And they play defense, and so
that's a pretty good recipe right there.
Yeah. What else can you do? What's it? What are going to the games like for you now? How do you view the game?
It's fun. It's fun. I think I enjoyed the Texas series this year as much as I enjoyed any series for a long time because we played so good and they were ranked. Number 1 or whatever. And I mean, we just beat them soundly. And I mean, that was just a good feeling. And I look forward to it. Sometimes, I get a little uptight, I guess. And, I'm afraid to see the results because I hope they're always good. But, that's part of it, I guess.
Well, I was going to ask you, how long did it take you to make the transition from like not living and dying on every pitch like you did when you were in the dugout?
Yeah, Chuck, that's funny because when Dave took over and fall practice rolled around, that first fall, I was going to every practice. And one time Caroline said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to baseball practice." She says, "Don't go around there all the time. You don't belong there." So I tried to back off, but I enjoy it. I really do like when Chris Curry was there, and he's done a great job this year. When he worked with the players, I would go. I remember Elander working with our catchers, who's now on Tony's staff, and he did a great job. And I used to watch. I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy the instruction. So it's been fun to be involved a little bit.
How about the coaching tree that Coach Van Horn has? Vitello's coming in this weekend. You talked about his ability to identify players. How about his ability to identify a staff?
Yes. Yeah, that Dave Van Horn coaching tree just gets bigger and bigger. That's a great comment. I mentioned that to somebody about 2 weeks ago. I said, I'd like to see all of the people that are coaching now that have been either played for Dave or coached with him or he brought in or something like that. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Somebody should do some research on that. I bet you it extends as big as anybody.
Bart?
There you go. Next project for Bart. Norm DeBriyn's our guest. I don't know if you still wake up and think about, how close you came to winning the national championship. I'm sure that, in the back of Dave's mind, how close they were. I know every Razorback fan thinks about it every time we get to this time of year and maybe all year because Arkansas is so good every year. But how would you imagine that they manage that, he manages that? Because it seems to be, no matter how good Arkansas is, winning the national championship is all anyone wants to talk about.
I know it. I just think he does a good job with that approach. Like that 2018 year, I was there. When that ball went in the air, I just relaxed. I was by myself, and I thought, oh, my gosh, this is it. And then when that ball dropped, then I looked down on the field. I was up in the press box area. I looked down on the field, and I saw where, oh, my God, the ball dropped. I thought, well, the game's not over. Well, a few pitches later it was, But I feel like Dave handled that well. I mean, they were upbeat, after the season, and he didn't say much about it and just went about the recruiting and the business of the next year. And that's about all you can do, and he does a good job of that.
Yeah, it's interesting talking to these players, Coach. They say all the right things, but then I think you see it play out. Well, they're not just saying it, they're doing it. That approach, being in the moment. Baseball is a long season. It seems like this team has that. The ability to just be in the moment and play for the now.
Yes. And different players have stepped up. And I think, it's just amazing how different people have come on and how they blended, into, and there's a lot of camaraderie there. There's a lot of respect for each other. And I think the leadership like Koschel has and Helfrich, and how he's kind of like he reminds me of a Kirk Pisker, a guy that get after it, and go.
Growler.
Well, we think it's we think Tony Vitello and the Volunteers are the villain, and Arkansas they're the heroes this weekend. We got the good versus the bad. That's the way we're approaching it. There'll be a lot of eyes and a lot of excitement. I want to get you out of here with this. What do you want to say to the Arkansas fans watching what this baseball fan base has become? What are your thoughts on the Arkansas baseball fan base?
Well, they're electric. They help so much. It's unbelievable, and especially like in the regional. I mean, every ball that's hit, I mean, you can hear, and they mean a lot. They're very important. And I think Dave and his staff, they realize that, and the fan base is the best. I mean, we love the Arkansas fans are the best.
Coach, thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. I know we will. And thanks for all you've done for Arkansas fans over the years, not just coaching, but even since then. You've been an integral part of what's happened around here, and I know a lot of people appreciate it.
Well, thanks a lot, Bo and Chuck. I enjoyed that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks for making time for us. We'll see you soon. Norm DeBriyn, 33 years as the coach, and he is the founder of the Razorback baseball program.